period and ARR.
Okay, so yesterday's class we looked at the payback period and ARR, but prior to that we looked at um, investment appraisal as a whole, and what we said was that investment appraisal is another method of trying to see, trying to confirm, trying to assess whether the investment you want to undergo in future, whether it will be profitable. Okay, so that's the whole essence of appraising investment. And we looked at the procedures that we need to follow before, in fact, we talk about investment decisions. We said that first, the concept has to come from someone. If it is an organization, maybe from an employee, and there are maybe various options. Some employees could say, okay, let's buy a machinery and we put it into production. Some will say, okay, let's just go into acquisition of properties and put them into rent, and stuff like that. So ideas will come, and you will have to assess the ideas and come up with a recommendation. And after agreeing on what project to go for, we usually come in as finance people to do our financial appraisal to see whether in fact it will be worthwhile to go for that project financially or not. Okay, and those are the techniques we were looking at. So we started with accounting for payback period, and we looked at accounting rate of return as well. Accounting for payback period, we said is a very, very important method. We don't rely on it in its entirety because it does not provide that much, information as to the profitability of the project. Okay, but it's a very, very important tool for an initial screening, so that immediately you've done your payback analysis, you will come up with a rough idea as to which project to go for. Because we know in project management or in any business we do, liquidity is very, very, very important. Okay, so in other words, the payback period takes liquidity as its priority. Okay, so liquidity is first considered so that the project that pays back quickly is what is considered first compared to all other projects. Okay, so we all agree that we've gone through those two methods and they are pretty easy. And the next method was the accounting rate of return, which of course is the same as our rows. You look at the average accounting profit, you compare it to the initial capital injection or average capital injection, which would be the capital injection at the start, plus the scrap value, that's the value of the investment at the end of the period, divided by 2. Okay, so we know that the accounting rate of return is a familiar ratio that we use a lot as accountants. Okay, so the accounting rate of return, we agreed, is always calculated on the accountant's profit, whilst the payback period is calculated on cash flow. Okay, so what did we say were the difference between cash flow and accounting profit? Can someone help us with that? We said here yesterday that there is a difference between cash flow and payback period. Sorry, cash flow and accounting profit. Can someone help us?
The difference is depreciation.
Hmm? Can you come again?
The difference is the depreciation.
The difference is the depreciation. Only depreciation? Only depreciation? Class, we just did this yesterday. The difference between accounting profit and cash flow, is it only depreciation? Are you with me, class? Danso, you were here yesterday. Hello? Hello? Danso? Okay.
Hello, Mr. Fofana.
Yes, you attended yesterday's class, didn't you?
I cannot hear you very well. I'm in a car going to school.
You are in a car now going to school.
Yes.
You people. You should have prepared yourself. You make sure class time finds you somewhere comfortable, not on the way. You people joke with yourself a lot, eh? Okay, Ibrahim Chan. Chan?
Yes.
Yes, yesterday we were saying
Yes,
that, yes, cash flow is different from accounting profit. What are the differences? Yes, Cham. Can you hear us? Or you are in Farafenya, network in Farafenya is not good. Okay, fine. Can someone tell us the difference between accountant's profit and the cash flow? Yes, someone says one of the difference is depreciation, but is it only depreciation? Is it only depreciation?
No, sometimes you have amortization also.
Provisions and amortizations.
Okay, you have amortization, you have provisioning, you have bad debts, this because these are all non-cash. Okay, and amortization is very similar to depreciation. It's just that depreciation relates to tangible non-current assets, whilst amortization relates to intangibles. Okay, so they're very, very similar, in nature. So provisions, you have provisions for bad debts, and you have bad debt itself. These are all costs that cash does not change hands. You understand? So, and there are many, many other examples. So these are the differences with cash flow. So that your accounting profit will deduct all that. It will not have it will not have amortization, it will not have depreciation, it will not have provision, it will deduct all that. So when you are calculating your cash flow, you add them back, isn't it? You add them back.
Hello. Hello,
Okay.
Mr. Fofana.
Yes, Mr. Coco.
Yes. I
Would you kindly make a recap from what you said just now? I kind of like don't understand
Yeah,
about the difference.
what I'm saying is we are comparing cash flow with accounting profit. You know, when you are arriving at accounting profit using the accruals method of accounting, which is internationally accepted, not cash method, okay? When you are using accruals method, we depreciate our assets and we recognize depreciation as an expense, isn't it? We amortize our intangibles and we recognize it as an expense. And if we have issues with our debt, we buy losses. Okay? So all those costs are deducted to arrive at our accounting profit. Okay? But in order to get your cash flow, you have to add back all those notional costs that have been deducted. So the notional costs are costs that don't have any cash bearing. Okay, depreciation, amortization, provisioning. So in an accounting profit, the accountant's profit will be less depreciation, amortization, and so on and so forth. Whilst cash flow will have to include all those in because they are not realistic cost per se, but they are just kind of estimates. For example, depreciation is just to make an allocation from your profit so that when the useful life of your asset expires, you can be able to set some funds aside and replace it. Okay? Does it make sense to you, Sakoka?
Yeah, sure. Now I get.
You got it, yeah? Okay. So, any questions or any clarifications? Today, we're going to start our DCF techniques, our discounted cash flow techniques. That's the NPV method and the internal rate of return methods. But before that, we're going to use the tool that is used to calculate them, especially the discounting. So we're going to look at compounding, which is calculating the terminal value, and we're going to look at the opposite of compounding, which is discounting. So it's discounting tool that we use in our NPV analysis most. The reason is the investments we are talking about will always happen in the future. So when we are appraising our investments, we will have to deal with cash flows, both ins and outs, that relates to the future. And as such, before we can take any decision, we have to discount them to today's value. We have to bring them down to today's value. Okay? So, we're going to look at compounding, like I said. Okay. So compounding, like I said, is nothing other than calculating the terminal value. You have a value now that you want to invest, and you want to calculate how much will that be tomorrow. It's easy thing. For example, if you have $100,000, for example, with you today, you want to deposit it into a savings account. You want to deposit it for 3 years. So you have to calculate by the end of the third year, how much am I going to make? Okay, so that's exactly what compounding means. Is that clear, everybody? Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, in order to do compounding and discounting, we need a scientific calculator. Okay, very, very, very important. So each and every one of you needs to buy a scientific calculator. Usually, Casio is more common. Okay, Casio is more common. you definitely need that in exams, okay? Because you can only use that when you are doing your discounting and your compounding, especially discounting, because we're going to use discounting a lot. Okay, is that clear, everybody? So you must have your scientific calculator besides you. Okay, so, right. Let's look at this example, since we know what compounding means. I remember, I don't know this new syllabus, the one you people are doing, I'm talking about the young ones. But during our time, when we used to do primary school leaving certificate called common entrance, we used to do lots of compound interest and a simple interest. Okay. Mr. Core, I don't know whether you belong to the old school or the new school.
You belong to the common entrance school, huh?
Yes, so you did the common entrance, was it?
Yes, sure.
And it used to be very, very, very challenging. In those days, if you can pass common entrance, you can do everything in life because
sure.
it was standard. You know, it was really, really, really good. You know, I love it. In those days, there used to be competition. You know, I remember, you know, when I was going to high school, I took first in our school, and of course in the whole region, the whole of Lower River region, I scored the highest. I remember there was this, you know, there was a daughter of one headmaster at the secondary school in Masakonko. Then she used to come to our school to sell food. When she had my results, she gave me the whole of her Nyambonyebe ball. Can you imagine? Because she was very happy with my performance. It was really nice. No, in those days, there was really, really, really huge challenge in education. But now boys don't mind. Everybody wants to go to Barclay. I want to go to Babylon. You can't understand what they, you know, and when you go to Babylon, what do you do? What do you do when you go to Babylon? You know, it's so sad. It's so sad. Those days of competition in terms of education is over. People are now competing, you know, going to America, going to Italy, going back way and stuff like that. See? So I think we need to preach this to our young ones, because fine, you can, it's good to travel. Okay, but if you travel, you don't have any good education and you don't have any skills. If you go there, what are you going to do? Odd jobs. Being a security person, doing cleaning, you know, those kinds of jobs. That's all you can do. And, you know, it's good to do them temporarily, like for people like us. You know, when we were studying, we did some cleaning, we did some security job and stuff like that, you know, temporary. But if you want to do that for the rest of your life, what are you going to tell your kids? What are you going to tell your kids? If your kids ask, you will tell them, "I'm a cleaner." Nobody wants to do that. So I think we need to be very, very, very serious with our studies. And not only us, let's talk to the young ones, whether they are our relatives or they are our neighbors. Let's talk to them. It's very, very, very important to have a good foundation. In those days, Mr. Cole will bear me out. There was lots of competition. In those days, if you pass common entrance, they crown you as a king, I'm telling you. So it's really good. Okay, so I think we can move here. So suppose that a company has, oh my God. 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. Someone was calling me. Let me take my phone on. So this is the question. So it says, suppose that a company has £10,000 to invest, okay, and wants to earn a return of 10% compound interest on its investment. This means that if the 10,000 could be invested at 10%, the value of the investment with interest will build up as follows. Okay? So what is the terminal value? Okay, that's the next question. Right. So after 1 year, 10,000 will grow to what? 11,000 at 10%. After 2 years, it will grow to 12,100. And after 3 years, it's going to grow to 13,310. So we compound the interest. Okay. So how do we calculate this? It's very, very easy. But then accountants are easy. You know, accountants are weak mathematicians. That's what we are. So we like to do little formula for everything that we do. Okay, but otherwise there's no need for a formula. So if you invest 10,000 now, and in 1 year time, you're going to earn 10%. So naturally, your investment will be 10,000 multiplied by 10% plus 100%, isn't it? So 10% plus 100% is the same as 110%, which is the same as 1.1. So 10,000 multiplied by 1.1 gives you 11,000. Okay, so now you are not going to use 10,000 anymore because you are compounding. So next, you have to use that 11,000. And if you take that 11,000 and you multiply by 1.1, it will give you 12,100. Check it on your calculator and see. That 12,100 also, if you multiply it by 1.1 again, it will give you 13,310. Can you check that?
Yes, it's working fine.
It's working. Okay. So that's one way of doing it. But then this is fine if you have few years. But then if you have, let's say, 10 years or let's say 25 years, then you have to be multiplied by 1.9, multiplied by 1. There will come a time when you will in fact lose track. So because of that, we use the power function. So that is 10,000 multiplied by 1.1. If it is 2 years, we say to the power 2. If it is 10 years, we say to the power 10. Okay? So there is a little formula here that has been given, which is V, which is the terminal value or the future value is equals to X into bracket 1 plus R raised to power M. So X is the value now multiplied by 1 is a constant plus R. You know, 1 is actually from 100%. Okay, is 100% because you are compounding it, just like we have 1.1 here. So it's this 1. So 1 plus R is the rate, for example. If it is 10%, that will be 0.1. If it is 5%, that will be 0.05, and so on. Then raised to power N. Okay? So as you can see here, V is the future value, X is the present value. That's the value now. That's the 10,000 we're talking about. And R is the compound rate or the rate of interest, whilst N is the number of years. Okay? So this is the way we compound, and we can easily do that using our calculator. So, but then normal calculators cannot do this. You need a scientific calculator. That's why I say you need a scientific calculator. So we have a question. This one was done for us nicely. So let's do this question here in red. What is the terminal value of £200 invested today at an interest rate of 7% per annum in 10 years' time? Okay, can you calculate that? The terminal value of £200, which is invested today, and the bank says they're going to give you 7% interest per annum, and you want to leave it for 10 years. At the end of the 10th year, how much are you going to get? So you can use the same formula. So it will be 200 multiplied by, okay, 1 plus 7%. 7% will be 0.07 raised to power 10, isn't it? Can you do that? How much have you got?
I got 40,319.87.
40,000.
Yes.
Allahu Akbar. This one.
It is not 200.
200 pounds.
200 pounds.
If somebody invests that, you invest 200 pounds in 10 years and you get 40,000. Hey.
Maybe my calculation is wrong.
No,
Maybe
in fact, even by not using a calculator, it's not possible. You're only investing 200 at 7% per annum. That cannot give you 40,000.
The way I calculate it is 200 bracket open, 1 plus 0.70 bracket close, then the power 10.
What do you use for your department? What are you using? Scientific calculator?
Yes.
What are you using?
I have 393.43.
393.43. Correct. That's the correct answer. That's the correct answer. That's the correct answer. Okay, we're going to do it on Excel. So let's go to our Excel. So we're going back to our sheet that says Investment Appraisal Solution, February 2021. So I'm going to add a new worksheet, and then I will call it terminal value. I'll call it, let me just project it, sorry before I forget. It's happened to me yesterday. Right, let me start this and I project that.
It's 16 hours.
TERMINN, terminal value. Okay. Terminal value. Can you see it?
Yes, yes, we are seeing it.
Excellent. Right. So we're going to calculate it. So the terminal value of 200, I just call it TM, terminal value. So investment now is 200 pounds. Okay, this 200 pounds, we're going to invest it now. You go to your bank, you want to invest 200 pounds or $200. Okay, if you invest it now, the interest the bank can give you is 7%. The interest they can give you is 7%. Okay, and you want to invest for a period. So your investment period will be what? 10 years, isn't it? Okay. So the investment period will be 10 years. Now you are supposed to calculate our terminal value. Sorry, it should be TV, not TM. Terminal value. Okay. So when we are calculating our terminal value, what formula do we use? We say terminal value, which is what? What is terminal value? In our formula,
200.
No, the terminal value that we want to calculate is shown with V. So it says V is equals to
X.
X is our value now. Okay? X into brackets 1 plus R is the rate, small r, all raised to power 2. So all raised to power n. N is the number of period. Okay, is this clear, everybody? So this is what we use to calculate our terminal value. Okay, so in this case, as we can see, V, I'll give you the meaning of each of them. V, X, small r, and small m. So V is the terminal value. Okay, I'm taking my time so that you understand all this, because these things are very, very important for your life now and for the future. It's very, very, very important. And X is the value now. Okay, X is the value now, or the present value. You can call it present value or the value now. Okay, then R is the rate, interest rate, whilst N is the number of period. This could be weeks, this could be years, it depends. Yes.
Can you call the terminal value?
Can we call it?
Future value. In the future.
Huh?
Future value.
Yes, terminal value is the future value. Yes.
Okay.
We could
Thank
use future value. Yes. We could use future value. Yes. So V is the terminal value or the future value. Okay.
Okay. Is it also possible? Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, the future value is G can
You say what?
like the future value.
The future value. You are breaking. I'm not hearing you clearly.
Yeah,
I'm not hearing you clearly. Okay, don't worry, we can't hear you clearly. Okay, so we agreed that in order to calculate our terminal value or our future value, we need to get our value now, okay, which is X multiplied by 1 as in 1 plus R, the rate, that's the percentage, all to raise power n. So like I said, this is simply, if you take the number, you multiply by, if it is 10% plus the number, okay, that would be for the first year, then whatever you have for the first year, if you multiply that same rate, let's say 1.1 for the second year, you're going to get the same thing, okay, in case you forget your formula. Okay, but in case it's 25 years, you're going to suffer. So it's better you know how to do the formula. But the formula is constructed just on the same basis. Okay, excellent. So now we're going to find the terminal value for investment of 200 now for 10 years. Okay, so we're going to find V. So V will be equals to what? Can someone give me the formula? So I'll say equals
C4.
okay, equals C4. I click on C4.
Open bracket.
Bracket opens. Mhm.
1 plus C5.
1 plus C5. Okay, correct. Bracket closes, isn't it? Yes.
Raised to the power C10.
Power button.
C6, sorry, C6.
Huh?
Raised to the power C6.
Raised to power C6. So what sign is the raised to power? On the keyboard, you have
Thing
the
is
same thing on some calculators.
On 6. On
Shift
my side
6.
here.
Shift 6.
Okay. It's like a reverse of V.
Shift 6.
Yes, this is what I'm saying. It's like the sign is like the reverse, the opposite of V, isn't it?
Yes.
I think in
Yes.
Arabic is sabwa, is it? Is it you know, in Arabic you have one that goes like this and the other one the opposite side. Is it sabwa or samani? I don't know. So, but it's just the key that is on top of 6. Excellent. So you press that and then you say, you type what? To the power? To the
C6.
power C6. Excellent. It's giving us wrong. What's the problem with our formula? It's giving us hashtag name, meaning there's an error. We should have said, after C4, we should have said multiplied by. Okay, C4 multiplied by, we open one bracket and we close another bracket after that. All right, you see? Can you see? You have to follow BODMAS. BODMAS is very, very, very important. We learn it in primary 3 or primary 4, but it stays with us forever. Very, very, very important. Can you see? Is this correct?
Yes, it's correct.
It's correct. 393 point something. So you have to obey BODMAS. Say equals C4. C4 is the X, which is the present value. Okay? Open your brackets. Open your bracket again. You say 1 plus C5. C5 is the rate. You close the bracket. That's this second bracket. Then you say raised to power C6, which is the 10 years, and then you close your bracket, then you enter. So your future value will be 393. Cham, look at it. You invest 200 for 10 years at 7%, it will earn you 393. But if we use your formula, hey, we'll be millionaires, eh? Okay, so we could take this to the power 2, for example. Okay, so 393. Or if you want, you could round it up. Okay, any questions, please, before we move? Is it clear, everyone?